So excited to have back on the department my man, Myron Golden.
Glad to be here, bro.
Thank
Always
you.
good to see you. Always good to have a conversation.
Welcome to Las Vegas.
Yes.
We haven't done a podcast in Las Vegas at the studio.
That's true. We haven't until just now. Yeah.
What do you think about the studio?
I like it.
Pretty
I like
cool.
it. It's cool.
Yeah, a lot of
And
people
it's
say
cold here. It's cool and cold.
cool and cold. So $1 million is just it's really like that place in a person's mind. And I just want to thank you for helping me become a millionaire, by the way.
You're welcome.
What a sentence.
How crazy is that, right?
And what better person to ask how to become a millionaire than somebody who helps people become millionaires
Yeah.
for a living?
Yeah. That's kind of what we do. And millionaires and multimillionaires and multimillionaires. Yeah. All that.
What's the reason why people don't become millionaires?
Because I think they think that number is bigger than them. That's number one. Like people think $1 million. Oh my goodness, that's so much money. I could never do that. Right. Well, you're right. Now you are correct. Right. And so, but $1 million, it's a lot of money, but at the same time, it's not that much money.
Yeah.
I mean, I would hate. There was a time when I could barely fathom making $1 million and had no earthly idea what it might feel like. But I still desired to do it. Now, if a whole year went by and all I made was $1 million, I'd be like, where did I mess up? What did I do wrong?
Mm.
I don't really like a whole month to go by and we don't at least generate $1 million. Now, if I were full time, I would like it to be more.
Right.
So the more realization, I never thought of this before, Omar. The more realization that you have about how much bigger than $1 million you are, the less time it takes you to make $1 million. Never thought of that until just now. Thank you for bringing that up.
Welcome. It's all about the environment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly it.
Even as you're talking in a, and I have a lot to even process because I did it part-time too.
Right, exactly.
And I took off 2 months last year. I got my IG hacked for 2 months. Like I had every reason time-wise not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But the way you talk about it, it's like conversations you're having in your mind. Like there are voices that you're changing the voice that's speaking about that number.
100%.
How do you control those voices? How do you know what those voices are?
You reprogram them. So if you think about it, none of us were born believing anything. So you weren't born believing that $1 million was a lot of money. You weren't born believing that $1 million was a little bit of money. You weren't born believing that it's hard to make money. You weren't born believing that it was easy to make money. So where did those beliefs come from? They either came from experiences you've had or from other people, right? And so we act like we all go through life acting as if we believe things because they're true.
Correct.
But the reality is we think things are true because we believe them. There's a difference.
Well,
that was good. I wasn't expecting you to say that. Okay. So what if it's hard to make $1 million? What if that's not true? And I'm telling you, it's not. I've made multiple millions of dollars in a day. I made multiple millions of dollars in an hour. So, and you know what's hard? Making $30,000 a year. That's hard. Way harder than making $1 million.
Yep.
So now I get that's easy for me to say. And I know if people are watching us right now, they're thinking, well, that's easy for you to say. Well, yeah, it is. But it's just as easy for you to say. Now, it may not be as easy for you to be intimately aware of and intimately familiar with that idea, but you could just say it just as easily as I do. In fact, I would recommend everybody watching right now on YouTube, just go ahead and say it to yourself. Making $1 million ain't that hard. In fact, it's something I can do. What if you started telling yourself that story? Since the other story is a story either you made up or somebody made up and handed it down to you anyway.
It's I would classify something like that like exposure therapy. When I was exposed.
I really like that.
I was exposed to the concept of 100K days, $1 million days from you, exposed to it. And once you get exposed to it, you're aware of it.
And then you saw other people in our coaching program who were doing it, and you thought, you're no smarter than me. I mean, you didn't say that, but you thought it.
I definitely did.
Oh, bro, I met you in the morning.
I said nobody's more gooder than me.
That part.
That's not a
I didn't even know you were from Texas. So the reality is why would I endeavor to do a thing and then assign a level of difficulty to that thing before I even put my foot in the ring? That doesn't even make any sense. So I think the number one reason people don't make $1 million a year or a month or a day, whatever they're
For YouTube
per,
SEO,
right?
million in a year is where people are at. I feel like
For YouTube SEO, $1 million in a year is where they're at. What does that mean?
That's an easier feat
Oh,
to
yeah.
more people.
Oh, for sure.
Until they clicked on this video and they heard it come out of your mouth that you made a few $1 million in an hour.
But I have clients who've made a few $1 million in an hour.
Right.
So I've got this one business who I coached, and they were stuck at $1.2 million for 3 years. And then after they came through our training and they did an event, they had like their first event they did after this training, they did $1.2 million in an hour.
Yeah.
Right. So this is not just something I can do.
Yep.
It's just something that works for anybody who will work it. And so I think the second reason people struggle with getting to $1 million a year is because they don't do the math. And the math is really easy, but you got to do the math to get to the millions.
Ayo.
You got some.
I'm like an MC.
You got some of the funniest phrases, bro.
Yeah.
You said when you said Millie Whopper to me the other day.
We were golfing. I was like, yeah, dude, I got a cool house. Like, thank you. Like you helped me do this.
Yeah.
And it was a Millie Whopper.
Like a Millie Whopper. I've never heard that phrase before in my life. You got some funny phrases, bro. So for real. But yeah, making $1 million, like just go ahead and decide that you're not ever going to face anything in life that's bigger than you. You're going to face some things that are going to attempt to make you believe they are bigger than you. But don't buy the lie. It costs too much.
Hey, that's so good. Where do you find the distinction between making the money part the goal and the becoming part the goal?
To me, the ultimate objective of life is the becoming part. Like be, do, have. So if you will focus on the becoming, the doing will take care of itself. And if you will let the doing take care of itself, the doing will take care of the having. Like everybody desires to have more, better experiences of life, whether they be financial, relational, health, whatever, right? Energy, good feelings. Everybody desires to have a better experience of life. But in order to have a better experience of life, you have to do better execution in life.
Yep.
In order to do better execution in life, you have to be a better essence in life. And so being is the seed. That's the root system, be. The shoot system that comes up out of the ground, that's do. That's the trunk of the tree. And the fruit system is the part you have. That's the have part of the tree. So be, do, have. Root, shoot, fruit. The same thing is true for human beings. The problem is we don't spend enough time becoming when nobody's watching, so that when people show up and look at us, we're not worth looking at. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Ish.
Yeah, you have this thing that I give you credit for it because I repeat it a lot. About how,
say more. No.
Yeah. No.
Hopefully my attorneys are watching this. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's the Abraham Lincoln. Prepare yourself, and perhaps your time will come. Myron Golden says, "Prepare yourself or not.
Your time's coming, whether you prepare yourself or not."
Yeah. And I'd rather be
prepared when your time comes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because if you don't prepare yourself and your time comes, life will expose you. But if you do prepare yourself when your time comes, it will reveal you.
What are some things people can do to be preparing and to become a person?
ABL, always be learning, always be growing, like always be learning. Like, how can you afford to go through such a magnificent life and not be curious about everything? Right? Like everything. Be more easily fascinated. Unlock your inner child. Like start asking, how does this work? I wonder how that works. I wonder how this works. Start taking things apart and putting them back together just for the fun of it. And I think you'll be blown away how much amazingness you can discover if you'll just become more curious. So we were on our way here, and we had a mastermind in the sky with some of my VIPs, right? And I was talking about why people create content and nobody watches it. Like, what? Like, how do you get thousands of views and tens of thousands of views in the first 24 hours? Well, you have to be more interesting. Now that's easy to say, right? You have to be more interesting. Well, how can I be more interesting? Stop trying to be interesting. That's how you're more interesting. People who try to be interesting are boring. I just want to tell you about me and all my cool stuff and all the cool stuff I've done. And you're like, oh boy, if I could just get away from this person, right? So you don't become more interesting by attempting to be more interesting. You become more interesting by being more interested.
Bang.
Interested in what? Interested in like how stuff works. So you're curious and you figure out how stuff works. But what if you find a group of people who don't know how stuff works and they want to know how stuff works, and then you figure out what they want to know, how it works, and then you show them, and then they pay you. First, they pay you with their attention, then they pay you with their assets. So what happens is you became so interested in the problem that you solved it, and you became so interested in the people that you shared your solution, and they became so interested in you that they paid you for the solution you provided. It's so simple.
Yeah.
No, you have to be interested enough when you're learning to realize there's no there. Now, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Right. So what that means is when you found what seems to be the answer, it is almost always never the answer. It's only first base of the answer. It's only the genesis of the answer. It's only the beginning of the answer. So if every time you learn something new and you got really, really excited about it, what if you had this little infomercial voice in your head that said, but wait, there's more. And then you went to the next layer to discover that next piece of that thing that you were so blown away by. So then what happens is you can start when you stack the level of intention and intensity with which you are interested in a subject. When you learn those layers, now you can stack layers of epiphanies. I keep hitting your microphone.
No, you're good.
You can stack layers of epiphanies for the people that you're sharing stuff with.
Yep.
And they're like, you just melted my brain.
Right.
But most people aren't interested in going that deep. So they find something on the surface and it's really, really cool. And it's something they never thought about before. It's something other people never thought about before. And then you share that with people and they get really, really excited and they come back for more, but there's no more because you thought that was all there was. And so you didn't look any further.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. Sometimes I just wonder if it's my personality, because like what you're talking about is things to do when no one's watching.
Exactly.
But when no one's watching me, I'm literally on YouTube learning.
Me too.
And my Instagram feed is business advice.
Me too.
I'm in a perpetual state of being
learning
a student.
And growing. Yes.
And I don't. The success of this podcast is purely my curiosity on display.
Mm-hmm.
And actually people appreciate because like a student, you can't have pride and be a student.
Right.
You have to be humble.
Be more interested in learning than you are interested in people knowing how much you know. Stop attempting to be impressive and be impactful by being curious and interested.
So good. So last night you spoke and you taught on the Millionaire Fast Track. What is the Millionaire Fast Track?
Well, first of all, the Millionaire Fast Track is based on a principle, the first financial discovery of my life. And that is that it's easier to make a lot of money in a short period of time than it is to make a little money over a long period of time. Now, if that's true, and I know it's true.
I know it's true.
Yes. Exactly.
Thank
right.
you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But when you first hear it, you want to believe it's true, but you don't know how. Right. You're like, that sounds really, really good. I'd like to believe that, but I don't know how, because everything that I've experienced so far in my life tells me that making a little bit of money is hard. So making a lot has to be a lot harder.
Right.
Actually, making 10 times more money is 10 times easier than making the amount of money you're making now. Now, I know that I could just be saying words right now.
You're breaking brains. Yeah.
Right. But what we're really breaking is we're breaking old beliefs, and those old beliefs are in the Bible, they're called strongholds. And a stronghold is a wall of protection that we build around a lie. It's like a fortress that we use to protect the lies we believe.
Right.
And people don't even realize that they are living in the bondage of their own brain.
Okay.
Right. And so it's easier to make a lot of money. And regardless of whatever the maximum amount of money I've ever made in a short period of time, it was always easier making that amount in a shorter period than it was making that amount in a longer period. And like, I don't set goals. So I don't have a goal to become a billionaire or
Right.
I want to make more money than anybody in the world. I don't really care. I know the money is the byproduct. So that's not my objective. That's just the byproduct. And I like making a lot of money because it gives me way more choices about everything.
Money's awesome when it is the byproduct too.
Exactly.
If it's not the byproduct,
then it's kind of like,
it hurts.
Right. Well, because if you think money is the objective and then you get money and then you still don't feel fulfilled, now you're like, well, what am I missing? Well, you're missing the fact that money's the byproduct. It's not the objective. I mean, it's an objective of business. Don't get me wrong. Like I could, the stuff that I teach people and they pay me $40,000 an hour for, I could teach them for free. I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'd just assume they not know.
Yeah.
Right? If it ain't worth it to you to learn it, it's not worth it to me to teach it to you. Anyway, so it's easier to make a lot of money in a short period of time than it is to make a little money in a long period of time. Now, if that's true, then maybe you'd like to make the same decision that I made in 1999 when I discovered this principle. And that is, if it's true, and I believe it is, that it's easier to make a lot of money in a short period of time than it is to make a little money over a long period of time, then I am no longer willing to look at or for the hard ways to make a little bit of money. I'm going to ignore all of them. And I'm only going to look at, and I'm only going to look for the easier ways to make a lot of money. And so because that's as far as a financial quest, that's the financial quest that I have been on since 1999, discovering how to make more money more easily. Now, I know that sounds like, but why would you want to make it more easily? Because that's how life works, right? And if that's how life works, why would I want to make it work a different way? I'm not going to change principles, right? The principles do what they do. Principles are God's automation. It's not going to change just because I don't like it.
Right.
So now, if something is a hard way to make a little bit of money, and what's a little bit of money is going to be determined by whose perspective it's coming from. Like, people come to me and say, "Hey, Myron, I got a great way we can make a couple $100,000. I don't want to have that conversation. I don't care. I don't need a couple $100,000. And the conversation that we're going to have, let's say somebody says, "Oh, I've got a great idea. I've got a great idea for you. You can make $10,000 a month." I don't want to talk to you about your $10,000 a month idea. I don't want to talk to you about your $50,000 a month idea. I don't care. It's not that I don't care. I'm not being arrogant when I say that. It's like, it's not worth the conversation to me. I don't need an extra $50,000 a month. And I'd rather have have a conversation with my wife, or have a conversation with my granddaughter, or hanging out with some of my golf homies, rather than talking to you about how to make $50,000.
Yeah.
If I'm going to have a conversation about how to make more money, it needs to be significant in order for it to be even worth the conversation to me where I am now.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Correct.
For instance, I've got a new mentor. He's a billionaire. The dude is just mind blowing. He owns tens of thousands of units of apartments. Here's what he said to me. He told me his story, and it was mind blowing. I told him my story. He's like, "Wow, you're doing really well. But you could do so much better." Like, it made me so happy to know that I'm talking to somebody who can see what I haven't done yet.
Right.
Does that make sense?
100.
And so
I felt like that was you for me. And you told me that.
Yeah.
Like, you knew what, you saw me from a distance. You were consuming some of the stuff I was doing.
Yeah, when you told me how much money you were making, I was shocked.
Right.
Like, wait, what? What?
There's a disconnect.
Yeah. I was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
I thought you was Omar.
Cold world.
Yeah. The principles work. Let me ask you a question. I know you're interviewing me, but since you're interviewing me, what goes around comes around, bro. Okay. But I have a question for you. So you came into our environment, you came to Offer Mastery Live, you hear me talking about this stuff. I know it sounded good and you wanted to believe it, but was it kind of hard for you to believe at first?
Sure. There was just it's just spaghetti.
Right. Because you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Okay. So how did you get past the conversation that you were used to having in your head to allow yourself to receive something that was, for the lack of a better word, so foreign to your way of thinking that, you had to intentionally make it make sense? Well, not even make it make sense, make yourself do it until it made sense, probably.
Correct. I mean, it was probably just a deeper knowing that there was more for me. And by that more, it didn't mean do more.
Right.
So I think your 1999 revelation of, it was like,
I made $6,200 in 1 week. And I was like, what?
It's easier to make more money
Right.
in a
And
short
it was the
period of
easiest
time.
thing I'd ever done at that point.
I have a very similar revelation or pursuit in my entrepreneurial journey. I've always asked myself the question, how can I do less without compromising the quality? And that
is a great question.
In any process. Can we do less and not compromise the quality?
See, okay, so I wrote Boss Moves, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so BOSS is an acronym that stands for Business Optimization Success Secrets. And so that question that you're asking is an optimization question.
Right.
It's how can I optimize this process so I get the maximum output for minimal input without sacrificing quality? That's so good, bro.
And so seeing people that were my age, younger than me, even like not as good as me in my lane,
right?
I'm like, dude, I could do.
If they can do this, I know I'm fixing to get rich.
Right.
Right.
There's a trigger word I have now that I realize as a coach, like and you're a true bread and butter coach. And there are some people that are coaching because it's a good idea, but not because they're good at coaching. But is when I hear the word hard, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
What's hard about that? And you really unpack it. It's like, you just told yourself it was hard.
Right. 100%.
And so you need somebody like your billionaire mentor to tell you,
yeah, you're doing good, but bro, you leaving a whole lot on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so, none of it, it's so simple. Here's what's crazy. Here's what's crazy about every level up that I've had in my life. Once I leveled up and experienced the new level of whatever that was, it was always using skill sets that I had before I leveled up. So the thing that's stopping you is not a lack of skill set, probably. The thing that's stopping you is a lack of mindset. And so when I say mindset, I might just be talking about awareness. So I don't know if I've ever shared this with you or not, but all the transformation that all your people on YouTube are looking for right now, transformation is a process. And the process of transformation goes like this. Awareness. You become aware of something that you were unaware of. You were totally blind to it. It was a total scotoma, right? It was a blind spot. So awareness, intention, which means now I'm going to do something about this new awareness. Decision is not like a choice. Decide. Latin root, de, of, or from, side, to cut. So now I'm cutting myself off from any other possibility. It's not like I'm going to try. I'm going to try. No, I'm not going to try. I'm doing my best. It's not that. It's I am going to do this or I am going to die executing. But I am not going back down, right? So awareness, intention, decision, and then discipline. And discipline is when you do what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, the way you're supposed to do it, and you do it that way every time you do it. And that when you put those four components together, transformation is inevitable.
Hey, department fam, wanted to take a brief break from this conversation. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is that, did you know that 75% of the people that watch this podcast on YouTube actually aren't subscribed, which is a high chance that you're not subscribed. So number one, I want to say thank you for listening or watching the podcast. And number two, if you can hit that subscribe button, that would be amazing. The second thing is, if you are an entrepreneur, content creator, or somebody looking to make money online, I want to encourage you to come to this online event called the Content to Cash Challenge. This is a special 5-day event that's going to give you access to the system I use in my business to make multiple 6 figures with my content. If you've been desiring to either get your business and brand more exposure, grow a YouTube channel, whatever it is when it comes to video, I would encourage you to jump into the Content to Cash Challenge. We'll be sure to post the link to the challenge down in the show notes or the description. And I want to encourage you to jump into the VIP experience. This will give you access to a 1-hour Q&A call every day of the challenge. This will guarantee myself to answer a personalized question you may have. So I'll see you on the Content to Cash Challenge. Now let's jump back into the conversation. Dude, appreciate that. Can we? I have my inner circle on the call. Has this been fire? YouTube,
What's
inner circle. Let's take a couple questions. By the way, this Art, can you see that package real quick? If it says it's from Chris, I need to open it, and I feel like I need to open it in front of you because it's really cool. I think is it from Chris Ward? Oh, it's never mind. It's from LaCroix. Dang it. Dude, one of the guys on my inner circle sent me a book. Miles Monroe signed by him.
Wow.
And it's stuck in the ether.
Boo.
I know. But he has his hand up. Chris, go ahead and ask Myron a question.
Let's do this.
And we got like 10, 15.
Cool.
Thank you so much. My question is, I'm having trouble going from in-person selling my courses to where they get me live in real time to taking it online. I built 5 courses last year and I'm on the struggle bus to take them online. To add
How much
value.
are the courses? How much you sold?
I have 5. They range, all of them are 10,000 except one of them is 5,000. And then I have a 3-hour workshop that's 500.
So when you say you're having a hard time taking them online, are you attempting to do it via webinar? And you sell them one-on-one in person, or you sell them group in person?
Groups, yeah.
I'm lost. Okay, so you say you're having a hard time taking it online because people don't show up, or because you don't know how to do a webinar? Like, I don't understand what part are you struggling with?
To take them online, I haven't done a webinar. I just haven't taken what I do in person and got it online, and I feel stuck.
But you haven't done that because
I've just never done it before, so I feel like I'm stuck on what to do next with that.
So I'm going to tell you a story. Back in 2013, a friend of mine, Dagan Smith, maybe you've heard of him, maybe you haven't. I was speaking at his event, and here's what he says to me in 2013. Myron, you are the best I've ever seen in presenting and selling from stage. He said, all you have to do is turn a camera on and do what you do on stage on the internet, and it'll blow up, bro. I'm like, that's a great idea, Dagan. So guess what I did? I proceeded not to do it for another 9 years. No, not 9 years. Another 2021 minus 2013. What is that? 8 years.
8 years.
So for another 8 years, I proceeded not to do it because in my mind, it was hard. But I've got news for you, Chris. Good news. You ready? The only place it was hard was in my mind. Because in 2021, I started doing my challenge once a month. And when I started doing our challenge once a month, it took our business from $2 million a year to $15 million a year because I took it online. When I thought it was hard, I didn't do it because I thought it was hard. And when you don't do something because you think it's hard, you're confirming that it's hard because it's not working. But you don't even realize the reason it's not working is because you're unwilling. And if I can be so bold, may I coach you?
Please.
Because you're unwilling to work it the way it works because you've told yourself it's hard. But I promise you. So watch this. You ready? So to show you how much easier it is to do it online, I used to do a live event once a month in a part of the country. I would fly across the country. I would get anywhere from 15 people to 150 people in a room. I'd teach them for 2 whole days. And then I'd make them an offer and I'd make some money, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, 90, 120, $200,000, whatever it was, right? So we'd leave on Thursday afternoon. So Thursday afternoon, we'd go all day Friday from 9 a.m. in the morning to 9 p.m. at night, go all day Saturday, 9 a.m. in the morning, 9 p.m. at night. We come back Sunday afternoon. That's 3 whole days of my life. That's 72 hours to make maybe $100,000. I took it online, started doing a challenge. The very first challenge we did, we sold $60,000 worth of tickets, which we had never sold $60,000 worth of live event tickets ever. And then we converted $1.6 million in sales from that first challenge. We started doing that every month. And now our challenges range between, on the low end, we might do 400,000, which I think we only had one that was that low. But on the high end, every now and then we gust up to $1.6 million. So you say, Myron, what does that mean? Well, it means that as soon as I started doing it, I realized that it was way easier than anything else I'd ever done. Now watch, here's the schedule. You ready? And I know the schedule like the back of my hand. It's the easiest work I ever do. It's an intense week, but it's easy intense. So we go from 11 a.m. to noon. We do our VIP experience on Monday. We go Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We do our VIP experience from 11 a.m. to noon, and then we do our challenge for the general admission from noon to 1. We do that for 5 days.
10 hours.
10 hours of work. Sometimes we throw in a bonus day. It's another hour. So 11 hours of work instead of 72 hours of work to make 10 times more money. So yes, I get it that it feels hard, but the reason it feels hard is because you've not done it. It doesn't feel hard because it's hard.
Not hard.
Is that helpful?
That's very helpful. Thank you.
You told me something while we were golfing on Monday, and it was, I told you, I was like, I had my biggest challenge, and you said it's gonna get bigger faster.
No, I said the bigger it gets, the faster it gets bigger.
Yeah, I mean,
okay, I'll give you a perfect example.
Which I believe it. I receive it.
I'll give you a perfect example. A month and a half ago, we were at 1.7 million views a month on YouTube. A month and a half ago. Right now, this morning, we're at 3.2 million views a month.
Mm.
So, for those of you watching on YouTube, question: how many hours are in a day? How many? 24. So that's one answer. There are 24 hours in a day. Y'all probably got that right if y'all typed it into the chat. But here's the other one. It depends on whose day.
Heyo.
What does that mean? It depends on whose day. Because on YouTube, they have this thing. It's called watch time hours. It's one of my favorite stats to look at.
My favorite stat.
Is that your favorite stat too?
Yeah.
I love watch time hours because watch time hours means how many hours do people spend watching you? So get this. There are 8,760 hours in a week. In a year. 8,760 hours in a year. That's a lot of hours. 8,760 hours in a year.
Yes.
Okay. So in the last 28 days, people spent 159 years watching me. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 159 years of watch time in the last 28 days. I'm sorry, that's in the last 28 days.
Yeah.
159 years of attention. That's insane. That's crazy town. Okay, but that's cool. But watch this. Let's break it down to the nitty gritty.
So I was like, content creation is wealth creation.
It is 100%. People spent 9.9 years watching me yesterday. Now you say, why is that important? Because people will pay you with their attention long before they pay you with their assets. They're not paying attention to you, they ain't gonna pay you. Period. So here's the Millionaire Fast Track formula. Now that we got through all that, you ready? Create a product that makes you an offer that makes you $20 profit and sell 50,000. I wrote a book called From the Trash Man to the Cash Man. It sells for $20. It makes me about $24 profit every time I sell one. I don't have time to go into that math right now, but it makes me $24 profit, but let's just call it 20. I wrote that book in 2006. It makes me on average $110,000 to $112,000 a year. Work that I did 19 years ago. I wrote another book called Boss Moves in 2021. That's 4 years ago. That book makes me between 30 and 70,000 a month. But yearly, $500,000 a year. 2 books that I did a long time ago make me $500,000 a year, or 600,000 a year. YouTube pays me. Well, last year it was a little over 500,000. This year it'll be probably over 700,000. Because this is why Millionaire Fast Track. Why is it a fast track? Because here's why fast tracking is so important. Because we've been warned our whole lives about get rich quick schemes. But nobody ever warned us about the stay broke for the rest of your life scheme. So because you've never been warned about that one, most people opt to stay broke for the rest of their lives rather than getting rich quick. And I submit to you that quick is the only way you can get rich.
Mm.
Here's my definition of quick. In your lifetime.
Right. So good.
Right?
Yeah.
So $20 profit, sell 50,000 of them. Or have a product that makes you $200 profit and sell 5,000 of them. Or have a product that makes you $2,000 profit, sell 500 of them. Or have you a product that makes an offer that makes you $20,000 profit, sell 50 of them. Or have an offer that makes you $200,000 and sell 5. That's the Millionaire Fast Track. Period.
Boom. And your business model is a business model that people should consider, and that is spending more of your time marketing and building brand than you are fulfilling.
Correct. Yeah.
But I think our mind wants us to spend all our time fulfilling.
Yeah, and then when you do that, you don't have anything to fulfill because your audience isn't growing, your leads aren't growing, your core product sales aren't growing, your revenue is not growing. So in life, anything that's not growing is dying. There's no such thing as standing still. You're moving forward or you're moving backwards. Backwards is not progress. Hashtag just saying.
Hashtag just. Can we get another question up? Anybody wanna? I don't see a hand. There we go. Aticia, what's up?
Hi. Hi,
Hey there.
everyone. Hi. So my question to you is, for the last year, my biggest challenge has been mindset and becoming that person. So my question to you is, how did you become?
I don't know that I have become the person, but I know that I am becoming the person.
Really?
Oh, I'm very serious. Oh, I'm very serious. Because here's the thing we have to realize. There is no there. The Apostle Paul wrote 14 of the 27 books in the New Testament. Here's what he said. I count not myself to have apprehended, but I press toward the mark of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. What does that mean? That means I haven't arrived, so I'm going to keep on pressing. I think when you realize that the journey is the destination and there's no there, just keep on growing. And eventually your mindset will overtake your past. Was that helpful?
Powerful.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ye-Sung, what's up?
Hey, thanks so much, Myron. My question is, if you're selling a high-ticket program in a challenge or through a webinar, how do you know if the problem is the offer itself, the messaging, or the audience? What's the fastest way to diagnose where the issue is?
So this is going to be a little bit of a different answer. Okay. If the sales engine that you're using, i.e. challenge, webinar, or whatever, if it's free, it's more than likely that the problem is the audience. But that's a problem that you created because you think people will only take advantage of it because it's free. So instead of attracting people who desire transformation, you attracted people who desire information. And people who desire transformation are willing to pay. People who desire information are looking for someone to blame. So like, that's why I don't even use the word free for my free stuff, right? It's my community service content. It's not free content. The stuff I put on YouTube is not free. You have to pay for it with your attention. So it's my community service content. It's how I serve my community that currently does not yet have the money to pay me. That's my perspective. And I'm not going to do anything, any sales engine at all, where I am expecting people to show up where I'm not charging them. So if I'm going to have a webinar, I'm not going to call it a webinar. It's going to be a masterclass. And they're going to have to pay to attend. And if they're unwilling to pay to attend, they can go to somebody else's free stuff and kick their tires. I don't want people coming kick. I don't have any tires that want kicked. So I'm going to charge for it. If I have a webinar, you're going to pay $47 or $97 or whatever, because I'm going to see, here's the difference though. Most people, when they have a sales engine, that's what I call a webinar, a live event, a challenge. When they have a sales engine, they're trying to get people to buy. When I have a sales engine, I'm not trying to get anybody to buy. I'm actually creating a transformation in the moment to prove to them that I can help them by actually helping them. And then when they get that help, because I'm aware of the fact that every solution creates the byproduct of 5, 10 more problems, then I'm willing to, like, I'm going to create the solution that I know the solution I've already provided for them is going to create. And so now, once they get my solution, they go out and do the thing, and now they got new problems. Hey, he taught me how to write a book, but I don't know how to sell books. Now I've got the next thing, right? And so, but the problem is the audience if the sales engine is free, in my opinion. And I could be wrong, but if I am, I'm willing to suffer through that. Okay, that's number one.
Something you taught me is just being hyper intentional with word choice. I was collab posted on Instagram with a flyer for a web class, and it said free webinar, and I had to text the homie and like, bro, I don't want my face in the word free
on
associated.
The same, exactly. Right. He probably thought, I don't know who you think you are, bro.
I was like, just change the word free to live.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because everything conveys a message. So that's number one. If let's say you charged and people showed up and nobody bought, then the offer wasn't good. And I don't know if the offer wasn't good because you were there are a whole lot of reasons that an offer can be bad. Maybe it's because it was an audience to offer mismatch, right? The message didn't match the market. Maybe that was the reason. Maybe the offer that you made it wasn't something that audience desired. So that's also like if the audience, if the offer is not desirable, or if it's not measurable in your presentation, you didn't give a clear before or clear after, but you told them how many workbooks they were going to get. You told them how many videos and how many audios and how many modules. You sold them all the pieces, or you sold them the process, and you showed them you actually did the work in front of them, right? I know people who sell ads, and in their sales presentation, they teach people how to create ads. Well, that's the dumbest thing in the history of the world. That's like dumb as a box of rocks. I would never do that, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because you're showing people that it's hard. They're grown.
Yep.
They know if it's worthwhile, it's hard. Why would I show them it's hard? I want to show them that it's easy. And by easy, I mean it's something they can do, right? So that could be a reason your offer doesn't sell. The reason that it doesn't sell for a quote high ticket offer is almost never the price. The most premium value offer I've ever sold is $1 million. We only sold 3 of those last year. And our $350,000 offer, we sold about 20 of those last year. So it's not your price, probably. It's either the fact that you're selling the pieces, or you're selling the process, or like a lot of coaches do because they think everybody wants their time. You get 1 hour a week of my time. Like, you ain't getting an hour a week of my time. I love you, but I don't love you that much. An hour a week? An hour a month. We have a $55,000 coaching program that you're in, right?
Yeah.
You don't get an hour a year of my one-on-one time, right? It's not part of the program. I don't do it one-on-one for $55,000. No, thank you, right? But because that's not what I'm selling. The difference is I'm not selling the pieces. I'm not selling the process. I'm not selling my person. I'm selling the payoff. This is what you can't do now.
Yep.
Pay me this money and do what I tell you to do. And this is what you'll be able to do when we're done. People say, Myron, what do you do? I'm a consultant. They say, what's that? Well, when I used to have a job, people paid me so they could tell me what to do. Now I'm a consultant. People pay me so I can tell them what to do.
Yeet.
I cracked myself.
That was good. India, what's up?
Hey, Myron, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So my question is a little bit different. I like what you said about the always be learning. And I really like this dynamic. You never get to see your mentor's mentor. So I think that's really interesting. So I guess my question is, what strengths do you feel like that you brought out of Omar? That's my question to you. What strengths do you feel like you brought out of Omar? And also, what do you think your strengths are that you bring out to your mentees in general? Like, what is your top 3? What did you see in Omar?
Yeah. So first of all, he was already doing stuff that worked. And I knew it worked because some of the stuff he was doing, I do. Right. But one of the things I know about most entrepreneurs, period, this is not Omar, this is almost all entrepreneurs I've met, they are under monetized. They don't charge enough. They don't charge enough for the transformation because nobody ever taught them how to calculate value. Right. And so that's one of the things that I share with Omar, right? How to calculate,
I know somebody that has a podcast that's growing very similar to mine.
Yeah. And they're struggling. Right. And they're struggling because people struggle because they don't believe in their own the transformation that they can create. I know, like, now I might be wrong, but I am never in doubt. I know we can create a transformation of it. Right. And
that comes by it does come by you get belief by actually getting people results.
Right.
That'll feed the belief.
Right. And I've seen enough people do the stuff. In fact, I've had people succeed before I started charging them accordingly. Like, y'all probably heard of Dan Locke, right? So Dan Locke was one of my students. He bought my speaker training back in the day, and he had $1 million day. He was the first person who I ever coached that had $1 million day using what I taught them. I'm like, oh, I'm not charging enough.
Dang.
Right. And he called me and he's like, we had a call afterwards, and he said, Myron, do you teach people how to tell stories? Like, do you do one-on-one coaching? I said, yeah. He said, how much is your coaching? I said, $5,000 an hour. He said, okay, great. I just sent you $40,000. I want 8 hours. And I was like, oh no, I just sold 8 hours of my life for $40,000. This will never happen again. That day, before I got off that Zoom call, I raised my price to $25,000 an hour. So it was the fact that people were having the transformation, and it wasn't just a little itty bitty teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini transformation. It was like the real deal Holyfield transformation.
Right.
And these people were having these, like, somebody says, if you can teach me how to make $1 million, I'll pay you 5,000. Like, the only thing that would come to my mind is get out of my face. Right? That doesn't make any sense. You don't understand the value of what you're asking for. So you're not even ready for the transformation yet. Does that make sense, India?
I think
Yeah,
sometimes
that makes
people
sense.
sell like a skill,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they have a hard time making it the skill a transformation.
Right.
Or-
Well, but the skill's not the transformation. People are used to selling their time. And because they're used to selling their time, and let's say they made $25 an hour and they would have liked to have made $50 an hour. So they start selling their time when they come into entrepreneurship because they think that entrepreneurship is selling your time for more money, but it's not. Entrepreneurship is selling something totally different. You're selling transformation. In fact, if employees recognized that the reason employers hire them is because that employer wants you to take ownership of that aspect of your business, so they don't have to think about it, and you take on an ownership attitude in your job, you will get raises because the company that you work for will never want to lose you. Does that make sense? And by the way, when you create transformation for clients as an entrepreneur, they will stay with you for years. Does that make sense?
Yes, because that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So you
Well-
kind of answered like my question. That's what I do. I own a studio and I'm trying to transfer. Well, I'm transferring into
What kind of studio?
it's like a beauty studio. So I do like waxing, makeup,
Okay.
stuff like that. So going more into courses online.
So your biggest challenge is you have a service-based business. So which means, right.
Too many hours.
Right, that's right, because you're still selling your time. You're selling it for a higher price. But the reality is, is it okay if I'm really totally transparent with you?
Oh, you should be.
Okay, you don't actually have a business. You actually bought a job.
Yes.
And you can
I
get a
agree.
job for free. Why would you want to pay for one? So if you want to take that job and turn it into a business, hire people who want to do what you've been doing and let them do the work, and you charge the money and pay them some of the money they made for you. And then you use your skills to go build training to teach service-based workers how to create real businesses instead of buying a job.
Yes.
So hopefully that was helpful.
So good.
No, it definitely was.
Hey, let's go. KK.
KK, holla holla.
I think I'm one of those crazy people that watched you for gobbles of hours. That's how I get my dishes done.
Thank
I
you.
plug you in and I get dishes and laundry done, and it just flows.
Cool.
Sometimes I listen to you 1.5 times, sometimes the good stuff 1 point times.
Or
But anyhow,
speed 1.5 speed.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, I knew what she meant.
Yeah.
I listen to everybody at 2 times speed.
yeah,
But anyway,
and you
I
just
get it.
train yourself, right? And just
Right.
everything out of your mouth is a value bomb. So
Thank you.
what is the topic that I should hone in if I'm in healthcare, health, wealth, and happiness? And so creating a course when you don't have any presence.
So here's what you do. So like it sounds like you've got a degree in something.
I'm a pharmacist. Yep.
Okay. So the people who struggle the most in entrepreneurship are the people with the most education. Because when you go and get educated, you pay a lot of money for that. And so the people that you get your education from, they want you to feel like that money you spent was justified. So what they do is they want you to feel like that money is justified. So what they do is they overly emphasize your training and make you memorize a bunch of insider lingo that you can use in the outside world. And so you talk like they trained you to talk, even though real people in the real world don't talk like that. And so when you're telling people what you can do for them, nobody knows what you mean. But if they say, I don't know what you mean, they're confessing to you that they're stupid. So here's what I'm going to recommend that you do. When you're creating a transformation for people, convey it in 3rd grade language. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, make sure that when you tell people what you're going to do for them, make sure that when you tell them, it's something that's desirable. Now, do you think there are people sitting around thinking, man, I wonder how I could be more healthy and happy? And what was the other thing? Healthy, happy, and something else you said. I didn't hear you.
Well.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Man, I wish I could just be more healthy and happy and well. Is that how people talk to themselves? No. Then don't talk to them like that, because you have to join the conversation they already have going on in their head. Don't try to get them to join a conversation you have going on in yours. So instead of that, then ask yourself the question, is this, hold on, I need to give this to somebody on my team. Can somebody figure out what's going on with this Uber thing? Because it's not making any sense to me. It's saying the same thing. And I'm tired of looking at it.
Dude's doing
right?
donuts.
Okay. So make sure that when you tell people what you can do, first and foremost, most important aspect of the transformation you create, it must be desirable. And by desirable, I don't mean something you desire them to desire. I mean something they desired before they knew you existed. Right? So it has to be somebody thinking, I wish I could, and then you fill in the blank. Okay. Number two, it needs to be measurable. There needs to be a clear before and a clear after. If there's no clear before and they're clear after, they're never going to pay you. Why? Because they're paying you with a measured amount of money. Therefore, if the transformation is not measurable, it's not worth it to them to pay you. Does that make sense? And then it needs to be stateable in a soundbite at a 3rd grade level. When you can tell people what you do like that, then people will buy from you. For instance, Myron, what do you do? I'm a consultant. I teach authors, speakers, coaches, agency owners, and other high-level entrepreneurs how to create, convey, and convert premium value offers better than any coach in the industry. In fact, while other coaches are attempting to help their clients have 6- and 7-figure years, we're actually helping our clients have 6- and 7-figure days. Okay, now, is there anybody here who didn't understand that? Oh, no, everybody understood that. Now, all you have to do is ask yourself the question, while other people are having a 6- and 7-figure, trying to have a 6- and 7-figure year, would I like to have a 6- and 7-figure day? Yes, I think I'll go with Myron. That's how you have that kind of conversation. Does that make sense? There's nothing ambiguous or foggy. I help people with self-love and how to overcome trauma that they've been triggered by their. Stop it. Like, none of that matters to anybody. Nobody thinks like that. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful.
Myron, thank you so much. Thank you for blessing the people. Thank you for blessing me.
Absolutely my pleasure. Appreciate y'all. Hope y'all can feel the love we got for you. We got love all up in our hearts.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, brother. Thanks, Omar.